The colonization of the New World encouraged the grandest ambitions of the hidden brotherhoods to advance the Anunnaki agenda. Contrary to popular understanding, the United States was not founded on the ideals of freedom and democracy. The United States was founded as an occult Freemason enterprise. The Freemasons needed a base for criminal activities. American Freemasonry was used in the 18th century to protect organized crime, including opium smuggling, piracy, and later illegal slave trading, and to deceive the public and rewrite history. George Washington tried to restrict the rising influence of the aggressive Bavarian Illuminati, but without success. All Freemason presidents who succeeded him were Illuminati. One of the real causes of the American Civil War was that Freemasons, under Confederate General Albert Pike, tried to establish the world's greatest slave realm, including Cuba and Mexico, calling it the American Confederation, with its capital in Richmond, Virginia. And although the various lodges acted to bring this about, election of non-Freemason and Republican Abraham Lincoln derailed this ambition. Lincoln was voted into office in November 1860 to the great dismay of the Freemasons. Shortly after assuming the presidency in 1861, he was the target of an unsuccessful assassination attempt in Baltimore, Maryland. So Masonic Grand Master Albert Pike then chose another solution, the Civil War, which started on April 12, 1861, a conflict that would serve the Anunnaki agenda of transforming America from an agricultural society into an industrial society. And the rise of the industrial age would serve a twofold purpose that would both advance technology exponentially and create wars for limitless blood sacrifice. The conspiratorial nature of Freemasonry was explicitly defined by Albert Pike in his Masonic lexicon book, Morals and Dogma. Masonry, like all the religions, all the mysteries, Hermeticism, and alchemy, conceals its secrets from all except the adepts and sages, or the elect, and uses false explanations and misinterpretations of its symbols to mislead those who deserve only to be misled, to conceal the truth which it calls light from them, and to draw them away from it. Truth is not for those who are unworthy, are unable to receive it, or would pervert it. The truth must be kept secret, and the masses need a teaching proportioned to their imperfect reason. Giuseppe Mazzini of Italy, founder of the Mafia, was a 33rd degree Freemason who replaced Adam Weishaupt as head of the Bavarian Illuminati in 1834. Mazzini appointed America's Albert Pike as sovereign pontiff of Universal Freemasonry and the coordinator of the Illuminati United States activities. Pike was a Tennessee Ku Klux Klan judicial officer. A known Satanist, Pike indulged in phallic worship and the occult. In a letter to Mazzini dated August 15, 1871, Albert Pike graphically outlined a blueprint for 3 planned world wars. World War I would weaken, topple, and destroy the powerful Tsarist government in Russia. World War II would pit Great Britain against Germany, destroy Nazism, and create the Zionist state of Israel. And World War III would be ignited by fueling aggression between the Zionist state of Israel and the Arab world, who would eventually destroy one another. But in fact, these great wars masked the age-old Anunnaki plan to finally raise humanity's capacity for warfare and ritual blood sacrifice to an industrial scale.
Albert Pike was a notorious Luciferian who openly praised Lucifer in his book Moral and Dogma of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Pike was also a general for the Confederacy during the Civil War, and a wizard of occult magic, channeling and summoning of spirits. William Carr documented that Albert Pike wrote a letter to a friend in 1871 outlining the final and largest of the wars. According to Carr, what Albert Pike actually wrote was a lot more than a letter. It was a blueprint that spelled out exactly what would happen in the last war. Carr said, quote, "In the 1860s, Albert Pike is recorded as saying his military program might take 100 years or a little longer to reach the day when those those who direct the conspiracy at the top will crown their leader king despot of the entire world and impose a Luciferian totalitarian dictatorship upon what is left of the human race. That's what they're saying. Pike seems to indicate a conspiracy to start a war so that the Antichrist can ascend to his position as world ruler. Pike's letter ironically also detailed the specifics of the first two wars with stunning accuracy, suggesting that he knew before time the details surrounding each of the wars. World War I, according to Pike, would be fought to overthrow the czars in Russia and change Russia into a communist state. The Second World War would be fought for two reasons: to establish the State of Israel and to expand communist control over Europe. The Third World War will be what allows the Novus Ordo Seclorum to rise out of the dust. According to Pike, Islam will be the central factor in the downfall of the West. Islam will be decimated in the process, allowing for the new religion of pure Luciferianism to spread on the earth. All Muslims will fall for this system. There isn't a single Muslim on earth who will not partake in the religion of the New World Order, according to Pike. Islam is merely a tool to destroy the Christian West. That's it. That's all it is. It's a tool. That's what they said hundreds of years ago. The master plan to use Islam was kicked off in 2001 when the fear of Americans was taken advantage of by an esoteric cabal lurking in the shadows.
Do you not think an angel rides in the whirlwind?
In his inaugural address, George W. Bush proclaimed that an angel would ride the whirlwind and direct the storm. The master plan was unveiled in 2001 for World War III. They started Albert Pike's blueprint when they flew 2 planes into the World Trade Centers and blamed it on Islam. The storm that would come and the angel that would bring it were long-awaited prophetic fulfillments. And as Albert Pike, Grand Wizard of the craft, had predicted, Islam would be the choice religion to use to foment a crisis between it and the West that would only get worse. What is the common factor every time we see a crisis? Who's behind it? Islam. And they want you to believe it's organically an issue of Islam. This was planned hundreds of years ago, and they have quite a plan for Islam. The esoteric cabal is using Islam to achieve the great work. It's all been mapped out. We've seen what they're doing with the migrant crisis. We've seen what they've done in England with the Sharia courts, and on and on and on. They're using Islam to stir the pot. The system has to come down. It has to topple. Islam will be used for the ultimate goal, and that is to fully usher in the Luciferian capstone. They're going to keep using it to destroy Western Christianity, Western culture. It's going to happen, and there's really nothing you can do about it except to pray. That's it. That's what we're called to do. It's been predicted. They've known about this since at least the late 1800s. And even earlier than that, I think. All world wars have been mapped out. The third and the last one was already written in the books. You have no control over this. This is a battle between principalities and powers and dominions.
Do you not think an angel rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm?
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror.
This work continues. The story goes on, and an angel still rides in the whirlwind, and directs this storm.
A world where the United Nations, freed from Cold War stalemate, is poised to fulfill the historic vision of its founders.